So as we have learned, and as we will continue to agree, camera movement is directly related to emotions and feelings. Now that is a perfect segue for our next segment, which is our Totally Awesome segment. This month on our Totally Awesome segment, we're talking specifically about camera motion. This is the Cineped. It's the tripod of the future. It might be a little funny that I'm calling it a tripod because as you can see down below here, we've got 4 legs. All right, how many tripod manufacturers are going to offer you that 4th leg free? Not a lot of them. This is the Quattro tripod of the future. So before we get to this Cineped rotational slider, I'd like to take just a moment and discuss the Quattro. Obviously, the Quattro has 4 legs, which is very impressive. The 4 legs, let's go to one on here. Each leg's got its own little locking lever, which allows you to double the height of the leg. So you crank that open, pull the leg out so you can change the height once you've got your camera set. But even before you've got your camera set, take a look at these claws right here. All 4 of these legs have a release lever here, easily undone. I don't want to do it because I got my camera on there. But you easily crank this out to the side, and you can change the degree of the angle of the legs. Right now we're at 30 degrees where it's the strongest. You can move it up to 15 or 0 degrees. That gets the legs in closer and adds height to your cinema slider. But even cooler than that, you can break these legs all the way out to 0 degrees where it lies flat on the ground. So that's basically your hi-hat. So when you're talking about the Quattro, which is supporting our Cineped, you're getting a hi-hat when your legs are flat all the way out on the ground. You're getting baby legs when you've got your legs set out to about a 45-degree angle, and it's no higher than this. You've got your standard legs set to 30 degrees where you can have your tripod at this height or double the height by opening up the legs and pulling out the telescoping tubes of the legs. Now, on the telescoping tubes of the legs, you've got markings, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, etc., so that you can make sure that you've got all 4 of your legs at the same height to keep your Cineped level. So, before we even get to the slider, just talking about the Quattro, you've got your hi-hat at 0 degree legs. You've got your baby legs at 45 degrees. You've got your standard legs at 15 and 30 degrees. Additionally, you've got Dutch angles. Right, so you've got your 4 legs. You can put 2 legs at one height, 2 legs at another height, and that will create a Dutch angle for your Cine slider. Now, the Cine slider attaches directly to your Quattro as a Mitchell plate. Your Cineped snaps right onto your Quattro using a Mitchell connector. So if you didn't want to use a slider, you could use any Mitchell-mounted head, put it right on top of your Quattro tripod. You can create a Dutch effect just by changing the height of 2 legs versus another 2 legs. So the Quattro, super versatile, baby legs, hi-hat, standard tripod, and of course the Dutch angle roll. But that's not what you guys are here for. That's all the static stuff. As we said, camera motion is directly related to emotions and feelings. So that's why we've got the Cineped rotational slider. All right? So this guy, let's just unlock him here, was designed not really to replace the dolly. In fact, because the Cineped mounts with a Mitchell mount right onto the Quattro, you could actually put the Cineped on top of a Mitchell mount dolly. So we're not here to replace the dolly because really, if you're putting a slider on your set, you're not going to get the most out of the slide. What the Cineped is for is precision, short movements. What I mean by that is, let's actually cut to 5 for a second. If I'm aimed at, let's not torment our audience too much. Let's go after a camera operator here. So if I am taking testimony from camera operator number 2 back there, and I want to add just a little bit of movement, now let's get out of 5 here. If I want to add just a little bit of movement, what I can do is be from here to here, right? This creates just enough element of fluidity that I've got something going on. It beats a static shot, and it's not quite a dolly. I'm not really tracking all the way in or sweeping around, but what I have done is add a little dynamism to my shot. Now, what if I need a little bit more than just back and forth? This is where the Cineped really outshines other sliders. Once you unlock this little brace, I can now change the direction of my slider. So I did the side to side. Now I can do the front to back. So I can give you a little bit of this, right? And again, I'm not here to replace the dolly. I don't want to do a 20-foot tracking move. All I want to do is get a little bit in and a little bit out. Now, one specific area where the Cineped was used to its maximum capacity was on the Miss America pageant. So we've got 50 girls being introduced, coming out, and walking through the runway. So how many times in your set can you just do the old regular slider back and forth, left and right? How many times can you do that in a 20-minute show? 3, maybe 4 times that you can do this move? Okay, so you do front to back, you do side to side, and that's only 2. But the Cineped allows you to get a different angle for every single one of the 50 girls. So I can change this angle, and now I'm doing a little bit of this action, right? Next girl comes up, change it around. Now I've reversed that. Now I'm doing a little bit of this action. So the Cineped is not here to replace the dolly. It's to give you precision, small, dynamic moves. Pretty awesome. Something else that the Cineped can do that your regular slider can't do is a proper arc. So we could lock it in place if we wanted and just do this swinging arc move. This doesn't exactly replace your jib, but what you're doing is offering a new dimension of movement to your camera that gets you out of the horizontal plane, out of the vertical plane, out of the small, precise precision movements, and gives you a nice sweeping move, almost recreating what you've got with a jib. Now, you're not changing elevation, certainly, but you are sweeping the camera in an arc. Now, if you want to make a complex combination move, that's where this really shines. So check this out. Let's say you are not so interested in the background. What you're really interested in is your dynamic host. If you want to have, let's cut to 5 for this. Once again, here is your foreground staying still, background sweeping around behind you. Not bad, right? Can your regular slider do that? I didn't think so. It's like a cinema selfie. I love that. Mr. Eric Russell here from Kenai Media all the way in the Bahamas. Fantastic. Great idea. A cinema selfie. I want to show you a couple other quick features about the Cine slider, the Cineped, that separate it from other sliders. So if camera 1 can look in tight real close right here. As we mentioned, we're not replacing the dolly. We've only got about a 3.5-foot track here. What happens when you get to the end of your track? Well, on most sliders, you smash into the wall and get a jerk from your camera. But on the Cineped, let's go to 1. Oh, yeah, there we go. We've got a magnet there. So I am never crashing into the end. I'm actually getting a decreased, slow, I get a little bit of pushback there, but if I keep my hand on it, we can finish the move elegantly. Pretty nice. Also, with the Cineped, and this is something from a rental house point of view, it's absolutely a must. When you get a nice, awesome piece of gear, you're going to have to protect it. You're probably even going to want to travel with it. So the Cineped comes with this fantastic road case, and it's not a road case that's pick and pluck foam. It's a road case that's specifically cut out to allow your Cineped to sit right in here. And not only does it carry the Mitchell mount Cineped, but it comes with a 100mm adapter and a 150mm adapter. So you don't have to use Mitchell-style tripod heads. You could use whatever tripod heads are in your inventory. The only thing that has to be Mitchell, or the only thing that you'll benefit from Mitchell mount, is the Quattro 4-legged tripod of the future and the Cineped itself. Those two guys are going to mate with Mitchell mounts. Now you see we've got an O'Connor 2575 on here. Mitchell mount, really sturdy. If we wanted to, 150mm bowl tripod, 100mm bowl tripod. You can even slip one further adapter in here and get your 75mm bowl, your Bogans and your Sackler Aces on there. One further thing that you'll note about this case is when you close it, you could have the carriage in the middle, or you could have the carriage on the right side or on the left side. When you are evaluating your cinema sliders, come take a look at the Cineped over here. When you're evaluating your cinema sliders, it's not how much weight it can hold right in the middle. Anybody can do that, right? Especially when you've got a tripod of the future with 4 legs underneath you. The real test of a Cine slider, lock this in place, is when you're at the extremities. Okay? So when I've got my F55 fully rigged out, zoom lens, zoom controller, rear viewfinder, all that kind of stuff, when you bring this all the way to the edge, are you still level, or are you getting a little bit of tilt out of your legs? On a tripod, it's a little trickier to pull this off. On the Quattro, you'll notice I'm totally sturdy, even at the extremities of my Cineped. Pretty sweet. So how much does this cost, you might be asking yourself? You can pick up a Cineped entire package. That's a case for the Quattro and a Quattro, a case for the Cineped and the Cineped, the 100mm adapter, the 150mm adapter. That's all a $7,950 package, $7,950. If you don't need to own one of these things, you just need to hold on to it for your short shoot for a short period of time, call your friends at Midtown Video. We do have it in our rental department. It's renting between $200 and $250 a day. jtown.tv special, $200 a day. Call up Scott and Virgin Rental Department. Get yourself the Cineped. Yeah, that about covers it. So once again, as our friends Vincent Laforet et al. Will teach us at the Directing Motion Seminar, camera motion is inextricably linked to feeling and emotion. If you want to unleash the potential of your camera moves, if you want to get out of the straight line sliders or curved dollies, if you want to combine them all in a single package, make sure to check out the Cineped. All right? That concludes our totally awesome segment.